Whoa, it's the illusion. Reporting from somewhere on spaceship Earth. Just hit a big wall of traffic trying to go get one of my surfboards fixed. So I figured I'd make this little video. Alright, a lot of people ask me about what's my take on psychedelic drugs. First of all, I don't believe they're drugs unless you misuse them. I want to make it clear, man, I'm a sober individual. I don't put any sort of mind-altering substances in my body at this present moment. But I do not have anything negative to say about the psychedelic shamanic experience. You know, I listened to a lot of Joe Rogan and Terrence McKenna and all sorts of other thinkers out there. And, you know, I'm firmly convinced that the human experience definitely involves psychedelics. Now, I have kind of one standing rule that I have about those is you can't go look for them, right? You can put the thought into the universe that you want to experience them, but to actually go search them out in some sort of drug deal experience, to me, that was never really my trip with it. I always found that they arrived right when they were supposed to, and any other sort of energy put towards them was sort of, I don't know, drug dealing or drug taking. And I think that they're really a serious thing. I think that to enter the psychedelic experience on a recreational level is to totally misuse them. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're a blast, but I mean, if you're treating psychedelics like a kegger, I don't know, I think you're blowing it, man. I mean, the kegger may arrive when you're tripping, but if your sole purpose is just to be a donkey and not truly experience what they're trying to communicate, I think you're missing the point. And you know, it's just real interesting because I was sitting here and I'm like, maybe I need to have a shamanic experience myself. You know, it's been a long time. I definitely feel that my gears aren't properly lubricated, you know, but me personally, I think I'm permanently tripping because this is all so gnarly out here, in a kind of good way, in a kind of classic way. It's like, I was just thinking about how, you know, I'm in the middle of all of this. This whole experience is mine. And everything that's going on around me is attached to me because every molecule in my body is in contact with the next molecule going out into infinity, right? So, just because my skin ends right here doesn't make the molecular chain end. It's like the air is touching that so everything's in contact. I'm in contact with it all, man. And I guess that's what I was thinking about the psychedelic experience and decided this was the time to make the video about it, was because that's what the psychedelic experience is about. It's realizing that we are all one and that there is no separation, because when you enter it, the being that is the psychedelic experience, you quickly realize there is no separation. And the more and more I move through time and space, the more and more I can see the people that haven't experienced the oneness. And put it this way, I'm not going to say that there's any one right way to find the oneness. Plenty of people do it through meditation, praying, all sorts of ways. But the psychedelic experience is like the full amped up level of the whole thing. Now look, I'm going to throw in some caution on the whole deal. There's only a limited amount of data that I think that you can achieve by overdosing yourself. Like the greatest leap you'll ever take is between never having a psychedelic experience and then having a psychedelic experience. That's like the ultimate chasm to cross. And then after that, it's basically fine-tuning the thing. And for me, I sort of think that outside of it being sort of a ritualistic tool to use every now and then to like unstick the gears, it's pretty clear what it is, and then you begin to play around within it. And once you're playing within it, I think that's where the danger ensues, where, you know, you're getting cocky and you're taking it for granted. I think the state of awe, if you're not in a state of total awe when you're in a psychedelic experience, like, I don't think it's working, right? And to move further and further through it is most people view the psychedelic experience as an excuse to go start doing other drugs. I mean, whatever. I don't really have a judgment on it. I can only speak from my own experience. Is like, once other drugs enter the psychedelic, I'll put a big example out there because there's a lot of fish heads who watch this stuff. Fish in the early days was a strict psychedelic experience, man. The communal trip was radical, it was beautiful, it was awe-inspiring. But then heavy-duty drugs entered the scene. Cocaine, heroin, I mean, they were there, but they entered it in a full court press. Speed, all sorts of other drugs. And it ruined the collective psychedelic experience because most drugs that aren't psychedelic are like separators. I mean, that's why I'm sober, is because drugs and alcohol separated me from the source. And I don't want to be separated from the source. And I think that's the difference, is like, we're trying to get into contact with the source. And I think that psychedelics are a really good way, but they're not for the weak. Look, if you have any doubts about it, don't do it. It's not a doubting game. It's a full contact sport, man. And it's the real deal, because you'll never view what's going on in this experience ever the same again. And it's a radical journey, this life, right? And it's not all just flashing lights and swirling colors. It's much deeper. And like, for me right now, like, even talking about it, I'm sort of experiencing what it is. And I've been really like, I've been in an interesting place spiritually and mentally since I returned from the road trip, of like, in conflict with this, whatever this is, this. And I was driving and I'm realizing that this is part of what it is. It's like, I don't know, it's like heartburn or something. It's part of the experience, man. And I think that you have to experience all this to know what's not happening, because psychedelics will give you a real insight into what is happening. I don't know if I've really broke anything down there, except use caution. It's not for the weak, and let it find you. You don't need to find it. I see illusions sitting in traffic, wondering if I'm going to U-turn or not. Lates.